I'm doing my happy dance. Thanks for visiting Karen Sizzle and Spice. I'm happy because I'm making sweet potato crust pizza. Now, who doesn't love pizza? I know I do. And you know, when you use sweet potatoes, it makes you feel a little less guilty about all the carbs that you're eating. So all you're gonna need today is a little bit of olive oil, some Parmesan cheese. We're gonna use 2 medium-sized sweet potatoes. Today I'm gonna top mine with chicken. I have a piece of leftover chicken breast from the other night. We're gonna use a little kosher salt. We're gonna use about a 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese, about 3/4 cup of flour, and 2 eggs. And I'm also gonna top this pizza with red bell pepper. I have a bit of a funny story to tell you about my measuring cups and my measuring spoons. The other day I was making a recipe and I went in my drawer where I always keep these, and I thought, a couple of my cups are missing here. So I checked with my dishwasher. That's my husband, Eddie. He's a terrific husband. He loves all the cooking that I do, so he does all the cleanup. And he said they must be where they belong in the drawer. I put them back. So I looked again, they weren't there. And then I did the next thing. I looked in my dishwasher and there they were at the bottom of the dishwasher, 2 of them with big holes in them. So I said, thanks, Eddie. I'm going shopping on Amazon. So I found the cutest set of measuring cups and measuring spoons. And they're metal, so they can't melt in the dishwasher again. And they have all different colors in these. They're just adorable. Of course, I got the purple. It's my favorite color. So let's get this started. I really do appreciate all of you, my viewers. But if you haven't subscribed to my page yet, please help me grow my channel and do that. If you're on your computer, on the bottom right corner of the screen, there's a little red box that says subscribe. All you have to do is click on it. If you're on your phone and you turn your phone sideways, you'll see that same little red box in the bottom right corner. Just click on subscribe. And I'm gonna leave you my Facebook link in the description of this video. Make sure you like my Facebook page as well. You don't wanna miss out. That's where I usually announce where I'm having giveaways. I do giveaways at least once or twice a month. And be sure you check my YouTube channel. Every Thursday morning I post a new video. You can count on it. To get this pizza crust started, the sweet potato crust, I'm just cutting up my sweet potato into cubes. And you will need a food processor for this. So as I cut them, I'm just going to add them to my food processor here. To peel and cut this, you just cut off both ends. And then I use my potato peeler to get the skins off. And of course, I'm always using my trusty garbage bowl. Even if my garbage can's only 2 feet away, I don't care. This is so much easier than running to the garbage can every time I eat garbage. Cut the sweet potato in half again. And then I'm just cutting it into slices here, in cubes. Do it again here. It's gonna go right into the food processor. Okay, now I have all the sweet potatoes cubed up. They're in my food processor. I'm not gonna add anything else to this yet. We're just gonna grind this up. Here we go. I want the texture of the sweet potato to be kind of like coarse salt. So we're there now. And I don't know if you have a food processor, but it's really a great investment. It's like magic, the way this thing grinds things up in seconds flat. It's terrific. So I'm gonna take this off of here, taking out my blade. And I'm gonna pour this sweet potato into my bowl, a mixing bowl. Okay, get every bit of it. To this sweet potato mixture, I'm gonna add 2 eggs. And remember, I always like to crack my eggs into a bowl before I put them into anything that I am cooking, because sometimes there's a bad egg, sometimes there's strange stuff in eggs. So you wanna mix it outside your food mixture first and then pour it into the bowl. Next, I'm pouring in 3/4 cup of flour. Then I'm putting in 1/3 cup of Parmesan. I'm gonna give it a couple of good pinches of coarse salt, and then I'm gonna use a little bit of Lowry's garlic salt. And then we're gonna mix this up nice and smooth. The egg will be the binding agent in this pizza crust to keep it all together. And it'll just take me a minute or 2 to get this nicely mixed. This is beautifully mixed now. You can see how well it's staying together because of the egg mixture and the flour. Now I'm gonna prepare my baking sheet for this. I'm using a large cookie sheet. And as always, I like to spray my pan with a little bit of nonstick spray. And I put my parchment paper down. That nonstick spray is great. It keeps this perfectly in place here. And then I'm going to pour this sweet potato mixture right onto my baking dish here. And then I'm just gonna take my hands and smooth this out to a nice shaped pizza. You want it probably about 1/4 inch thick. This will go in the oven. I have the oven preheated at 400. And this will go in the oven for probably at least half an hour. The last time I made it, I did only about 25 minutes, and I found that the inside, the middle of the crust was not crispy enough. So I'm actually gonna try to make it a little bit thinner than I did last time, and I'll be cooking it for a little bit longer. Really, the crunchier you can get this, the better it's gonna taste. Okay, right before I put this into the oven, I'm just gonna pour a little bit of olive oil across the top of this crust. And I'm gonna use my pastry brush. This is my everything brush, really, my barbecuing brush, it's everything. And I'm just gonna spread out the olive oil on top of this crust. And then, oh my gosh, it smells really good. I'm just gonna put this right inside my 400-degree oven. And I'm gonna set my timer for 30 minutes. And all right, the next thing we're doing is we're gonna get our toppings ready for this pizza. I love red bell pepper. I think it's the sweetest of all bell peppers. So I'm gonna saute these a little bit. The reason being that when I put the toppings on the pizza and I put it back in the oven, all you do is leave it in there long enough for it to, everything to melt, to marry. So I don't want these peppers hard. I want them nice and soft and sauteed. So I'm gonna cut up these red bell peppers and I'm gonna saute them in a pan. So I'm gonna dice these red bell peppers. They'll cook quicker, and I prefer them that way on a pizza instead of being too large. So I'm gonna just finish dicing all of these. You can put whatever toppings that you like on your pizza. But like I said, I do love the red bell pepper. I love chicken. And you know what? Every time I make chicken in the oven, roast chicken, which is one of my favorite ways to make chicken, makes your house smell heavenly. I always make extra pieces so that I can use the chicken that's left over for other recipes. So I'm going right over to the saute pan here. And I'm just gonna let these saute for a bit, just for a few minutes. I'm gonna put some salt and pepper on them. Layers of flavor is what makes food so good. And salt, I'm telling you, it brings food alive. If you ever tried eating some foods without salt, you'd be like, ugh, what's wrong with it? It's so bland. Salt wakes up all the flavors in food, so make sure you're pretty generous with it. I'm just gonna cut up my roast chicken here. You know, no matter what kind of chicken you made, it would probably taste good on this pizza. Ooh, barbecue chicken would taste good on here. In fact, for my sauce today, instead of using a tomatoey sauce, I'm using my favorite barbecue sauce, which is Sweet Baby Ray's. And again, you can choose the sauce that you make. When I'm cutting up the chicken, I like to take the skin off. It just doesn't taste good on a pizza. So I'm just gonna cube this chicken. This chicken is ready to go on top of the pizza. It's only gonna take those few minutes in the oven once we've got all the toppings on the pizza for this chicken to warm up. These red bell peppers have just been on here for a few minutes, and it's really all it's gonna take. You don't want them mushy. Just cooked enough. So I'm just gonna pour these in a bowl and put them aside until that crust is ready. I'm checking the sweet potato crust after 30 minutes, and you can see that it's bubbling some in the middle, and it's a little bit brown around the edges, but I'm gonna put it right back in and give it some more time. I'll update you on the total length of time we need to cook that. Well, it smells like heaven in my kitchen. That's one of the telltale signs that this sweet potato crust is ready. I actually ended up leaving it in for 45 minutes. And if you come closer, you can see how nice and dark brown it is around the edges. And a real test too is to take your spatula and you see how beautifully that's lifting right up off the parchment paper on both sides. So this is ready to go for the toppings. And instead of using a tomato sauce this time, I'm using my favorite barbecue sauce, which is Sweet Baby Ray's. The original recipe, I just love it. So I'm gonna put a pretty generous amount on here, and then I'll take my spatula to spread it out. Can never have too many spatulas in your kitchen, am I right or am I right? This is beautiful. Can you imagine the flavor of sweet potatoes with barbecue sauce? Ugh, this looks, I cannot wait to eat this. Eddie is behind the camera and he is drooling. Next, I'm gonna put on some of that chicken that I cut up. Love chicken on my pizza. Yum, yum, yum. This looks pretty darn incredible. Okay, oh, that looks good. What do you think, Eddie? I'm going to be able to
raw if I could.
Now I'm going to add some of those bell peppers that I sauteed, and I can hardly get enough of these. They're so yummy and sweet. Oh my God. This looks even better than the one I made last time, I'm telling you. It's gorgeous. Sometimes you have to make a recipe a couple of times to really perfect it and to tweak it and to make it your own. As soon as you do something a little different in a recipe, it's legal. You can call it your own then. I do that all the time. Now I'm gonna add some mozzarella cheese on top. And we love cheese around here, so I'm not gonna be shy about it. Look at this gorgeousness. I'm telling you, food really gets me excited. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sprinkle on some Parmesan. I can't get over this pizza. Okay, Ed, here we go. It's going in the 400-degree oven, and we're just gonna leave it in here for about 10 minutes till everything's melted, and then we'll show you us tasting. Can't wait. It's my favorite time of the video. It's tasting time. Ed, come on in.
Okay.
I know you've been dying to try this.
I have.
Now I did find a little bit of basil still in my garden, so I'm going to sprinkle it over the top of this pizza for the final touch. And OMG, we're gonna cut into this thing with my regular pizza cutter. Oh, this looks so good, hon. Okay, cut a nice piece here for us to try. There we go. Got a beautiful plate to put it on. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's try it, hon. I'll let you taste it first. Oh my gosh, it looks perfect. Remember last time the inside, the middle was a little too soft? This looks just perfect. Oh my gosh. How does the barbecue sauce taste down there? Is it good?
Yeah.
Let me try it here. Oh, it's so good. It's just as good as any other pizza you get. And it's so much better for you with the sweet potatoes. Glad you like it. Love you, hon.
It's delicious.
If you like what you've seen today, please be sure to subscribe to my page. And remember, you eat with your eyes first, so you may as well make it beautiful. See you next time.